Good morning. Good morning. It's time to rise and receive. Welcome to your 10-minute morning send off designed to support you in receiving what you most want by unlearning struggle. So, today we're going to talk about how to invite good fortune when things feel intense. So, some people have been feeling some intensity in this past week, certainly in the United States, and I have clients actually around the world and have the great good fortune to connect with people in all different areas of the planet. And so intensity is something that comes and goes. Sometimes it feels like intense emotion. Sometimes it feels like intense pressure or stress from life or from world events. Sometimes it's an inner pressure and intensity of our mind, our thoughts just go and go and go, and it's hard to get relief. So today we're going to talk about how to invite good fortune when things feel intense. And if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I am really passionate about teaching people how to receive by unlearning struggle. Because the truth is that while some struggle in life is natural, most of it is learned. Most of it is simply what we have learned through observation, through watching the people in our lives growing up and watching and responding to our environments and how other people respond to things. So we have learned to struggle. And there's this whole world, this whole universe of ease and grace that is here for us to simply receive when we learn that very concrete skill set. Receiving is its own concrete, results producing specific skill set. Most of us know how to work hard. Most of us know how to toil and struggle and pursue and hunt. But when it comes to stopping that, there's a couple issues that we run into. Number one, it's so habitual that we actually don't even know how to stop. The hard work becomes like its own gravitational force. So that's the first part, is just breaking the trance of the hard work and the toil and the struggle and the challenge. And then once we stop, we don't know what to do. We don't feel powerful, which is what causes us to work hard again. So there's actually this whole counterbalance to hard work, to action and thinking, that is supremely powerful. And that is the power of being. It's the receiving. It's the counterbalance to the power of doing. So what I did today, as I do each morning at Rise and Receive, is I pulled one card from my brand new Receive card deck, and I will be illuminating a principle and letting that inspire today's message. And with that, I'll give you a willingness mantra, which activates the power of invitation. That's part of the being model of power, in counterbalance to intention, which is the doing model of power. And as you take this willingness mantra into your day, you can start to tap into the power of inviting good fortune when things feel intense. So let me put my tea down, and I invite you to sit back and let these words wash over you. The card that I pulled today is Be Aware. Be aware. And for those of you who are new to Rise and Receive or not familiar with my brand new Receive card deck, the card deck actually has 4 categories of cards, or you can think of them as 4 suits. So one of the suits is the Receive with Ease suit. That's the teaching principles, the very fundamental principles of how to receive, the skill set that I've talked about. Be Aware comes from the Receive with Ease suit. There's another suit called Receive Your Wants, which is really all about those things that we want to receive. Receive Your Needs, which is essential to receiving your wants. If you don't receive your needs, it's going to be very difficult to receive your wants. And then finally, Receive Soothing, because as we start to receive all of life, and receive everything as sacred, instead of being selective about what we receive, which is what most of us do. We receive what we want and we push away what we don't want, which actually blocks the flow of life and receiving. As we learn to receive our don't wants, we must learn how to receive soothing so we can stay open to the kindness of life. So back to today's card. If you would like to close your eyes, I invite you to do so. Sometimes it lets the words go in deeper. And I'm not going to read the entire card because I have another video for that and I'll include a link to that. But I am going to use this one. I'm going to take an excerpt and then we're going to unpack this a little bit more. So if you're feeling intensity in your life on an inner world or an outer world, sit back, take a breath, maybe close your eyes and let these words wash over you. So this card is be aware. Imagine a river teeming with life-giving supply. Your relationship with this river determines your capacity to receive all that it offers. If you related to the river as a fish, you'd likely be unable to know how utterly blessed and abundant your environment is. You wouldn't see the river itself. You would only see what is in the river, unconscious, unaware. If you related to the river as a swimmer, you'd likely see the vast power and abundance of the river. Yet you would remain in the river, relying on effort to get out of it what you want. You might dive for treasure or merely stay afloat. It might be fun, it might be hard work, and you might struggle if you didn't know how to swim or when it was time to rest. If you related to the river as a camper on the banks, you'd be keenly aware of a steady, abundant source of supply. You'd sit back, cast your net, and receive all the river has to offer. You might receive some sticks and leaves sometimes, but you'd always know the fish and edible plants would reveal themselves, for this is the nature of the river. The river is as life itself, always offering kindness and abundant supply. Your capacity to receive what life offers, however, depends on how you relate to life. Your mind, your thoughts, and your level of awareness are the key to everything. I'm going to say that one again. Your mind, your thoughts, and your level of awareness are the key to everything. So this card is be aware. And here's your willingness mantra for the day. If you feel intensity, if you want to invite good fortune, you can practice this mantra. And I definitely invite you to stick around for the unpacking of this a little bit more, because it will give you even more support on how to practice being aware as a way of inviting good fortune when things feel intense. So here's the mantra. I am willing to be aware of all the good I am receiving right now. I am willing to be aware of all the good that I am receiving right now. So say it to yourself as often as you like, especially when you can practice noticing that things feel intense. And know that that's going to be supporting you to invite good fortune. So I would invite all of you who are watching live, and then if you're watching on the video, to simply take this moment to notice what has been in your thoughts. Because if you're here, you are open to learning about receiving. And one of the things that causes unnecessary struggle is our thoughts. Our minds can just be overactive. Sometimes you've heard the term of monkey mind, or just, our circling thoughts. Or if you're somebody who's ever tried to meditate and you're like, I can't, my thoughts are racing. Okay. One of the most powerful distinctions you can begin to understand is the difference between awareness and thinking. Those are two separate things. Awareness is your state of awakeness, is the part of you that has an inner witness that can stand back and observe. And then thinking and thoughts is this sort of machine of the mind that just goes on and on and on and on by itself. Thoughts just show up in your awareness. So if you are an overthinker, and I'm certainly one that's cut from that cloth, so everything that I teach here comes from lots and lots of practice and experimentation. If you happen to be a thinker, take a moment to simply become aware that you're thinking and become aware that you have thoughts. And simply by becoming aware, you've now created a space between you, in your awareness, and the thoughts that you're thinking. Once you have done that, you have now created a space. I call these micro spaces. And space is the invitation. When we talk about inviting good fortune, space is the invitation. If there is no space, and I'm a broken record about this because our relationship to space is so powerful, it is the heart and soul of receiving. If there is no space, like the bowl, I always talk about the bowl, okay? If the bowl, which has a space, that's its nature, is to hold space, is filled with stuff, you cannot receive anything new. But when you can empty the bowl, okay, when it can pour out, when it's empty, when there's space, you can receive something new. That's what happens in our awareness. That's what happens in our being. That's what happens in our lives. When we can let the thoughts that are consuming us, right, that fills up the space, breathe, and you can stand back and have a space, now you can invite good fortune. And that's where you can say a mantra. That's where you can breathe. That's where you can simply be. And you don't have to do anything. The doing model of power that we're so trained in will ask the question, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? The power of being says, simply be. And as you become willing to practice this, because it's so foreign to the doing model of power, the mind will always say, it can't be this simple. It really is. It really is. And as you learn how to receive what life is giving you, including your thoughts, and you bring in the awareness and you allow the space, space becomes the invitation. And in that space, you can introduce a new thought. You can put your attention on something other than the problem that you're trying to solve, which is, I am willing to receive, or how was this mantra? I actually forgot the exact words. I am willing to be aware of all the good I am receiving right now. That's how you invite good fortune when things feel intense. Practice awareness. Practice remaining awake. Practice noticing when you're feeling intense because you're lost in the activity of the world or the feelings or the thoughts. Take a breath. It's feeling intense. I'm aware it's feeling intense. Take a breath. That opens up the space. I am willing to be aware of all the good I am receiving right now. And then, if you want to take it to the next level, start looking for evidence of all the good you are receiving in this moment. Where your attention goes, the energy flows. That is blessed and expands in your life. And fortune, good fortune, can be revealed and seen. And you will see that the good fortune is right here, right now. It always was. It always has been. You just couldn't see it because your attention was lost in thought. So I hope that this is helpful for you. If you would like to learn more about the power of space, the utter power of space, I invite you to consider joining me for the 30-day challenge, which actually officially starts today. You can join anytime. Go to ReceiveChallenge.com. I've got a lovely group of people who've already joined me in this challenge. It's 30 days of creating receiving space in your life, 15 minutes a day, where you get to learn how to tap into the power of space and practice receiving, as I call it, unconditionally. Not because you do something, not because you earn it, but because you're starting to learn the power of receiving, the power of being, and the power of spaciousness. All right? And if you like these cards, go to ReceiveCardDeck.com, put in your name and email. I will let you know as soon as they become available. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.